Let's go to page 79 and with 13. Okay, so this one it says you can use any method, but this section is on graphing method, so I'm going to use graphing method for all the problems. So just review quickly for graphing method. The graphing method is that you have the endpoint minus the starting point, and this will equal to distance. So just keep this in mind. That's the definition for the that you're going to use for graphing method. So you need to get into this format. Okay, so your absolute value of 2x minus 1 equal to 3. So first we need to go and get rid of the 2. So divide everything by 2. Now if it's positive, you're fine. But if it's negative, you have to factor out the negative first into absolute value. So we're going to cover that in number 24. But right now, just divide everything by 2. So your absolute value of x minus 1/2 equal to 3 over 2. Okay? So now you can ready to use that definition. So your starting point is this over here. So your starting point is 1/2. Okay, so we're going to do that. And your distance is 3 over 2. So from here, you're going to go 3 over 2 this way. You're going to go 3 over 2 this way. So when you go 3 over 2, you add. This point will end up, so 1 plus 3 will give you 4, so it will be 4 over 2. When you go 3 over 2 this way, you have to minus. So 1 minus 3 will give you negative 2. And denominator is 2. Okay? And therefore, your point is going to be this point. So that means x equal to negative 1 or x equal to 2. Okay? And that would be your answer. So that's how you do the graphing method. Okay, so let's go to number 15. Okay, absolute value of 2p plus 5 greater than or equal to 3. So again, let's go and dividing by 2. So absolute value of p plus 5 over 2 is greater than or equal to 3 over 2. Okay, so now we're going to use this definition. Okay. Before we do that, we need to make this into subtraction. So we have to make it p minus negative 5 over 2. Okay, so we need to do that because we need to follow this format. Okay, so you have to make it into minus. So plus break into minus minus. So that means your starting point is negative 5 over 2. Okay? Now your distance is 3 over 2. So from here, you're going to go this way, 3 over 2. So at this point, it's going to end up being, so negative 5 plus 2 will give you negative 2. Okay, when you go this way, you have to minus. So again, this is 3 over 2. So negative 5 minus 3 will give you negative 8 over 2. Okay? Your next step is, notice this is greater than, so arrow is pointing away from the starting point. See, this is your starting point, right? So that's your starting point. The arrow is pointing away from the starting point. So here's your starting point. So arrow has to pointing away. So it's going to go this way. Okay, this is a point, and so this is your end point. Okay, so your answer based on that, okay, is going to be p is less than or equal to negative 4. Right, this is negative 4, or p is greater than or equal to negative 1, and that would be your answer. Okay, so this is based on the pink arrows. Okay. Okay, let's go to number 17. Okay, absolute value of 1/3 t minus 1 is less than or equal to 2 over 3. Okay, so this one's fraction. So what we're going to do first is we're going to multiply it by 3. So multiply by 3. So that this will cancel out. So you got t minus 3 is less than or equal to 2. Okay? So now again you go over here. So that's your format, right? Okay? So here is your starting point. It's going to be at 3. So 3 is your starting point. and your distance is 2, so you're going to go 2 this way, and you're going to go 2 this way. Okay, so the starting point and distance is, so 3, and you add 2, this is going to end up at 5. 3 go this way too, so you have 3 minus 2 will give you 1. Okay? Now next is less than, so this is pointing toward the starting point. See, this is starting point, so arrow is pointing toward the starting point. So that means the point you have over here, okay, you have to go toward the starting point, so you have to go this way. Okay, so that is your graph. So that means your answer would be 1 is less than equal to t less than equal to 5. Okay, so it go in this way. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you have 3 minus absolute value of 2x minus 3 absolute value greater than 1. Okay, so first we have to get rid of all the stuff on the outside. So we need to minus 3 on each side. So you can negative absolute value of 2x minus 3 is greater than negative 2. Okay, then we need to multiply by negative 1 or divide by negative 1. Okay, so let's go and multiply by negative 1. So you got 2x minus 3. Now, so when you multiply by negative 1, everything has to change. So this has to be changed this way. This times this will equal to 2. Okay, your next step is you have to divide everything by 2. So divide every term by 2. Okay, so you're going to end up with absolute value of x minus 3 over 2 is less than or equal to 1. Okay, then after that, you can go and start the graph. So your starting point is 3 over 2, and your distance is 1. So this is 2 over 2, right? So it becomes 5 over 2, and you go 1 this way, so it becomes 1 over 2. And so this is going to be an open circle, and this will be pointing toward the starting point. So this will go toward the starting point. Therefore, your final answer would be 1/2 is less than x is less than 5 over 2. Okay? Okay, let's go to next one. Okay, absolute value of 9 plus 3f less than 4. Okay, so first let's go and switch the terms. So it'll be 3f plus 9 is less than 4. The next step is dividing by 3. So your absolute value of f plus 3 is less than 4 over 3. Then you have to make into minus because your definition, right? You have to end point minus the starting point. Okay, so you have to make a subtraction. So this would be f minus negative 3 is less than equal to less than 4 over 3. Okay, so that's your starting point. So negative 3 is starting point, and it's your distance. So from starting point, you go this way, 4 over 3 this way, okay, on each way. Okay, so you got to use your calculator. You have to figure out the point. Okay, so negative 3. So basically, you have to use negative 3 plus 4 over 3, and so it makes it the common denominator. So it's going to give you negative 5 over 3. Okay, this one you have to subtract. So negative 3 minus 4 over 3. So you're going to get negative 9 over 3 minus 4 over 3. So it becomes negative 13 over 3. Okay? And then this is going to be point toward the starting point. So here are your points. Okay? Actually, it's open circle because of that. So it's going to open circle. Then it's going to point toward the starting point. So you have to go this way, you have to go this way. Okay? So based on this final picture, your answer would be negative 13 over 3 is less than f less than negative 5 over 3. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, you got 1.2 plus 0.4t is less than 2. Okay, so when you got decimal, first let's go and get rid of the decimal. So the easy way to do it, just go and multiply everything by 10 to move decimal one place over. Okay, so it's going to be a 12 plus 4t is less than 20. Next, let's go and switch the term. So you got 4t plus 12 is less than 20. Then I'm going to get rid of the number, so I have to divide it by 4. So absolute value of t plus 3 is less than 5. Then we have to make it into subtraction. So you got t minus negative 3 is absolute value is less than 5. Okay, and then so you go and sketch your graph. So your starting point is negative 3. Your distance is 5. So from here is open circle, so you have to go 5 this way. And you have to go 5 this way, right? So again, that's your starting point, and that's your distance, right? See like that. So this is distance, this is starting point. So starting point, you go 5 this way, you go 5 this way. So it's negative 3, you go 5 this way, we give you positive 2, okay? When you go negative 3, you go 5 this way, it will give you negative 8, okay? And then from here, again, notice the arrow is pointing toward the absolute value, or point toward the starting point. So from here, you have to go this way, toward the starting point, because this is your starting point. Okay? So your answer would be negative 8 is less than t less than 2. Okay, and it would be your answer for number 23. Okay? So you can do all that when it's positive. Now there's a special case when the coefficient is negative. Okay, so like number 24. You can absolute 1 minus 0.3x greater than or equal to 1.5. So again, to get rid of the decimal, let's go and multiply by 10 first. So you got absolute value of 10 minus 3x is greater than or equal to 15. Let's go and switch. So you got negative 3x plus 10 is greater than or equal to 15. Okay, now with a negative, you cannot just go ahead and divide by negative, okay? So be extremely careful with this. So with a negative, you have to factor the absolute value of negative. So you have to factor the absolute value of negative 3, so it becomes x, and this becomes minus, when you factor means you divide, so it becomes 10 over 3. Okay, so you factor out the negative 3, so you haven't done anything on this side yet, okay? So you can double check this times are equal to that, this times are equal to that. Your next step is you have to take the absolute value of that, so this becomes 3 times absolute value of x minus 10 over 3 is greater than or equal to 15. Then you have to divide by 3 on both sides. So you got absolute value of x minus 10 over 3 is greater than or equal to 5. Okay? Now you can go and sketch. So your starting point is 10 over 3, and you have to go 5 this way, you have to go 5 this way. Okay, so go and get your calculator, or you can just add. So 10 over 3 plus 5 becomes 15 over 3. So this becomes 25 over 3. Okay, and we go this way, you got 10 over 3 minus 15 over 3. So this will give you negative 5 over 3. Okay. Okay. So now, so these are your endpoints. Now endpoints, notice is pointing away from the starting point, so it's pointing away. So you have to go like this. Okay. So your final answer would be x is less than or equal to negative 5 over 3, or x is greater than or equal to 25 over 3.